Hi, my name is Gaurav Gupta and I am the Head of Sustainable Business Development at BT Group, where I work with our account teams and our sales and marketing teams to help them sell ICT products to our customers so that they in turn can meet their own sustainable development goals. And today I'm here as part of BT supporting World Wi-Fi Day, along with a whole host of other companies such as AT&T, NTT Docomo, Intel, Cisco, Google, amongst others, essentially to celebrate this initiative, which is targeted at connecting the most unconnected with the technology that Wi-Fi brings. So BT's purpose is to use the power of communications to make a better world. And we do that by making sure that everyone can thrive in a digital economy. We support the communities in which we operate, and that our products and services have a positive impact on the environment. As an example, in the UK, we've spent over £3 billion to enable fibre connectivity across the country. So far, we've connected up 25 million premises across the UK, and we are on track towards connecting a lot more in the coming years. A scheme that we started over the last few years is called Community Fibre Partnership, where what we're trying to do is to let those communities that are very hard to reach with fibre apply for a grant of up to £20,000 so that we can share the cost of connecting them up. We've got a whole host of other products and services that we provide to people that may be on low income, people that may be disabled or maybe elderly. As an example, we've got something called BT Basic Plus Broadband, and that's a product that's specifically targeted at those that are at low income. We've also got another solution which is called BT Social Housing, and there what we tend to do is we don't sell directly to the tenants of the social housing associations. The reason it's actually important that they have broadband is that more than 40% of the unconnected people in the UK live in social housing. And so instead of selling to the tenants for whom this might be cost prohibitive, we actually sell to the social housing association, who then can distribute the broadband connectivity amongst the households and tag it on as a minor cost along with the rent that they're anyway charging their tenants. So that's a way where the tenant no longer has to pay any installation fee and doesn't have to go through credit checks, etc., to be able to get connectivity. Of course, we've also got EE, through which we've got the largest 4G network across the UK. Currently, it's at 78% geographic connectivity and 99% population coverage. We are working towards 2020 to be able to have 95% geographic coverage across the UK. Along with that, we've got a whole host of products through our Including You website and platform, which are specifically targeted for those that are the most vulnerable across the UK. So that's just a few examples of things that we are doing in the UK. Globally, of course, we use our satellite connectivity, working with over 6,000 customers across the globe, as well as our suppliers, to be able to bring connectivity to the most disconnected or unconnected. As an example, we work with a global charity called SOS Children's Villages in sub-Saharan Africa, where we've used our satellite connectivity to bring Wi-Fi to 30 SOS Children's Villages across 13 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, benefiting roughly 145,000 people. Also, on the back of that connectivity, we enabled in 7 of those villages where there were large healthcare centers, we enabled a healthcare management system, thereby providing better healthcare opportunities on the back of the connectivity to a further 100,000 people. Along with all of this, BT sits on the executive committee of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development to share best practice and to drive innovation. For BT, we believe that ICT, information and communications technology, is going to be key to the delivery of every one of the Sustainable Development Goals. And of course, that is an opportunity for BT as well. We work on the principle of shared value, which means that we want to do good for society, we want to do good for the environment, but we also want to say that there is an opportunity, a business opportunity in all of that for BT. BT is the founding member. BT is the founding member and sits on the board of GESI, which is the Global E-Sustainability Initiative. Last year in June, GESI published a report looking at how ICT solutions can help enable and meet every one of the Sustainable Development Goals. So just a couple of examples. If you look at it from a societal perspective, up to 2030, the use of ICT solutions in e-healthcare, for example, to be able to provide better, faster, more accessible and affordable healthcare could impact 1.6 billion people across the globe. If we look at the area of connected cars, which also uses ICT technology, you can reduce the number of injuries on the roads by 2030 by 30 million injuries can go down. Along with this, if we focus on the environment, ICT has a great potential to be able to reduce greenhouse gas emissions as well as augment renewable energy, all of which would help reduce the carbon impact on the environment by about 20% by 2030. So in the middle of all of this, we certainly believe these are opportunities for BT to be able to really focus on that shared value goal, that shared value mindset that we've got to be able to meet the SDGs, but also have a business opportunity. Yes, so in India, we have been involved with an organization called Katha, which is a school in Delhi for over 10 years now, where we've essentially provided them technology to be able to start and create an IT education school along with a robotics lab. And now we are also supporting the promotion of their I Love Reading program. Along with that, we've done over the last year, done a whole host of research in India to try and understand who are the most unconnected. And what we found is that it's adolescent Indian girls that are the most connected within the country. Almost 63% of adolescent Indian girls tend to drop out of school before they complete grade 12, before they graduate essentially. And so what we are trying to do now in India is work with a whole host of partners, collaborate with partners which include NGOs, our customers, the government, stakeholders like foundations and other experts, to be able to see how we can collectively bring connectivity to these girls using the dual medium of sport and technology. So that's something that we are looking forward to doing in the coming years. In Colombia, we worked with the Colombian government on an initiative called Kioscos Vive Digital, which means the digital life. And it was a social connectivity program. So what we did was we worked with the government to be able to use our satellite capability to put together to create more than 500 kiosks in rural Colombia, thereby bringing connectivity to people that live there, impacting the lives of roughly 200,000 people so far. And it's not just about providing the connectivity, it's also about maintaining the kiosk, and we've partnered with an organization on the ground called INRED that's also providing digital training. And so what we found is, because we did a social impact evaluation of our initiative there, what we found was that farmers, unemployed people, children and mothers tend to use the connectivity the most, and the overall social value that we've generated per year is 1.8 million pounds. So that's Colombia. And then in South Africa, we actually work with Coca-Cola, who is one of our customers, to be able to connect up their vending machines with satellite connectivity. So we provided the design, the structure, the connectivity, the infrastructure on the vending machines. And the purpose of this was these vending machines were in areas where there was a lot of footfall. But the Wi-Fi, I should mention, that people could access via the vending machines was free. They didn't actually have to buy anything to be able to access the Wi-Fi. And this supported, of course, BT's goal of trying to help communities and connect them up, but also Coca-Cola's goal to empower the communities in which they operate. And what we found is that a lot of the connectivity is actually being used by students to research, maybe use it for education, to look up stuff, etc. So those are some of the initiatives globally that we've been involved with. So we've got as I mentioned, the shared value agenda, the shared value goal. But of course, we want to make sure that we have some quite clear metrics and KPIs to be able to measure our progress towards the goals. And so in 2013, we developed our sustainability goals to 2020. And what we've done is we've mapped each of those goals against multiple SDGs to be able to see how those goals actually enhance and work towards the SDGs. So we've got a social sustainability goal of supporting 10 million socially disadvantaged people across the globe using our products and services. On the environmental side, we have a goal to help our customers reduce their own environmental carbon impact by 3 times as much as we put out as a business. So we want to be a net positive business, a goal that we are well on our way to achieve. In the UK, we've got a goal around tech literacy, which is around helping 5 million children in the UK become more tech literate. And then we've got goals around volunteering, where we encourage 66%. We want to get to 66% of our people globally volunteering. I should point out, BT actually offers all its employees across the globe 3 full days of paid time off to volunteer. And finally, we have a classic philanthropic goal, as it might be seen, which is to raise £1 billion by 2020 towards good causes. So what we do is, on an annual basis, each of these goals are tracked, and we have glide paths to each of the goals to see how we're actually going to make it to 2020. I should be honest and say we have a lot of work to do, of course, to be able to get to the goals, but we are determined to do the right things and work on the right projects to be able to meet those goals. And one of the ways that we do that is by working with the CEOs across all lines of business in BT, and essentially agreeing targets that each of their lines will take as part of the CEO scorecard, which actually goes towards determining their remuneration as well. So that helps us really focus on the right projects that will have the most shared value for society and for BT. Along with that, we also, of course, work a lot with the government both in the UK and internationally. We support and work towards the Paris Agreement, for example. We were advocates of climate, getting the right agreements at Paris, and of course towards the SDGs as well. So last year, we've actually again worked with SOS Children's Villages in Serbia and Macedonia to be able to bring connectivity to the refugees there. And what we found is most times this free connectivity, this free Wi-Fi connectivity that we're bringing is the only way that the refugees have to be able to stay in touch with their families, to be able to understand what the immigration rules might be for the countries where they're going. And there's been great uptake. In the first 8 months, there were about 315,000 refugees that actually used that connectivity. We've also found that aid agencies that work in those areas do use that connectivity as well, because it's open to everyone, especially in terms of emergency situations. So that's a program in Serbia and Macedonia. And a program that we've supported in Ghana is with with the Ministry of Health, certainly in Ghana, and a couple of our other global pharmaceutical customers as well, where we are looking to train a whole host of community health workers. The program is called 1 million community health workers. And what we're looking to do is train a whole host of community health workers, provide them the right mobile technology so that they may be able to go out into the community and serve the people, and they may be able to track diseases early, may be able to reduce infant mortality, etc. So it's all done on the back of connectivity. So far, 1,500 community health workers have been trained, and I believe the number is about 340,000 people have been reached so far by this program.